You know, when you think about retirement, Social Security, it's usually right there in the mix, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a cornerstone for so many people.
But there's also this undercurrent of worry, maybe. We see research, like from the Alliance for Lifetime Income, showing lots of Americans are concerned about its future, about solvency, potential cuts, things like that,
That's right. And it's not unfounded worry. There are real discussions happening based on recent analyses.
which is exactly what we want to dive into today. Get a clear picture of the current state of Social Security.
Yep. We're looking closely at the 2024 Social Security Trustees Report. And the big headline from that is about the primary trust fund.
The one that pays retirement and survivor benefits.
Exactly. That one. The projection is that it could be depleted around 2033.
Okay, 2033. And if that happens, and importantly, if no reforms are made before then,
Right.
what's the consequence?
The report suggests it could lead to about a 21% cut in promised benefits. That's the figure everyone focuses on.
Right, a 21% cut. That definitely grabs your attention. So our mission today really is to understand that number, understand the timeline, and separate the facts from maybe some of the fear.
And crucially, figure out what this could actually mean for you, the listener, and your own retirement planning.
To help us do that, we're leaning on the insights of Emerson Sprick. He's an economist, associate director at the Bipartisan Policy Center. Really sharp analysis on this.
Yeah, his work on protectedincome.org, his appearance on Money Map, he brings a really clear-eyed perspective to this whole situation.
So the big question we're tackling, how might these potential Social Security shifts impact your plans? But maybe first,
Yeah.
how do we even get to this point? What's causing the strain?
Fundamentally, it's how the system works. Today's workers, through payroll taxes, pay for today's retirees' benefits. It's a pay-as-you-go system, essentially.
Okay.
But the demographics are shifting. We have this huge wave, the baby boomers, or the peak 65ers, as they're sometimes called, hitting retirement age now.
More people drawing benefits.
Exactly. More people drawing benefits compared to the number of workers paying in. That puts a structural strain on the finances. In a simple numbers game, in a way.
And Emerson Sprick, he puts it pretty bluntly, doesn't he?
He does. He basically says there is not enough current payroll tax revenue to pay out the full amount of benefits that have been promised. That's the heart of it.
The core reason the trust fund is projected to deplete, not enough coming in to cover what's supposed to go out.
Precisely. And that leads us back to that 21% cut figure in 2033.
Okay, let's unpack that number, because I imagine people hear 21% cut and think, okay, my monthly check just gets smaller by a fifth overnight. Is it that straightforward?
Well, according to Sprick's analysis, probably not. It's unlikely to be a sudden across-the-board reduction like that. It's more nuanced.
Nuanced how? What would it actually look like?
So the Social Security Administration would still have the payroll tax revenue coming in each month. Right? They'd use that money to pay benefits.
Right.
But since that incoming revenue would be less than the total benefits promised, they'd essentially pay out benefits until the money for that month runs out.
Runs out. So some people might not get paid, or payments stop mid-month.
It could mean that within a single year, you might get your full benefit check some months.
Right.
And potentially no benefit check in other months. It would likely average out to about a 20% reduction over the whole year, but the month-to-month reality could be very uneven.
Wow. That kind of unpredictability, that sounds incredibly stressful for retirees trying to budget. Much harder than just a smaller, consistent check.
Definitely. It makes planning much, much more difficult.
Which brings us to the question, if this is looming, why hasn't Congress, fixed it?
Yeah, what's the holdup?
Well, Emerson Sprick points squarely at politics. It's the infamous third rail.
Meaning it's politically dangerous to touch.
Exactly. He says, and I'm quoting him here, the primary reason, in my mind, is that even the most courageous members of Congress on this issue are receiving absolutely zero support from party leadership. So even if some want to act, the leadership isn't backing them up.
Seems that way. The potential solutions, things like raising taxes, adjusting benefits, maybe increasing the retirement age, they aren't typically popular moves. So there's a real lack of political will to push forward.
And the longer they wait,
the harder and more expensive the fix becomes. Sprick worries about that. He fears it's going to go right down to the wire, the 11th hour, as he puts it.
which he calls the worst case scenario.
But also, realistically, maybe the most likely scenario.
That's not exactly comforting. For someone listening, especially nearing retirement, this uncertainty might make them think, maybe I should just claim my benefits early, get something while I can, We know from the Alliance for Lifetime Income that people are thinking this.
It's an understandable reaction, absolutely. But Sprick actually advises strongly against that, particularly if you're, say, in your 50s or early 60s.
Really? Why? Isn't there a risk of getting caught in potential cuts if you wait?
His perspective is that it's highly unlikely Congress would allow major cuts to affect people who are currently receiving benefits, or those very close to it.
Ah, okay.
Think about it. People have spent their whole careers planning based on a certain expected level of Social Security. He says, quote, "I would be shocked if that happens."
So the thinking is any changes are more likely to impact younger generations further down the road.
That seems to be the more probable path for any potential reforms. So for people nearing retirement now, claiming early out of fear might actually be counterproductive. It locks in a permanently lower benefit.
Okay, that's actually quite reassuring for listeners in that age bracket. So if panic claiming early isn't the answer, what should people be considering? What are the proactive strategies?
Sprick emphasizes one main strategy, if your situation allows for it: delaying claiming Social Security.
Holding off past your initial eligibility age.
Exactly. Every year you delay past your full retirement age, up to age 70, your benefit amount increases significantly. It's a powerful way to boost your guaranteed lifetime income.
But what if you need income before then? If you stop working but delay claiming? That's the gap, right?
That's the gap. And he talks about bridging the gap, finding ways to fund those years between stopping work and starting Social Security.
How do you bridge it?
Well, one key suggestion he makes, and he acknowledges it's not possible for everyone, is to continue working in some capacity. Maybe not full-time, but even part-time work.
Ah, so not fully retiring right away.
Right. The benefits are threefold, really. One, you delay claiming Social Security, boosting that future benefit. Two, you delay drawing down your own retirement savings, like your 401k or IRA.
Letting them grow longer.
Exactly. And three, you might even be able to add to those savings. It gives you much more financial breathing room.
That makes a lot of sense financially, even if it's not everyone's ideal retirement picture. Delaying claiming, maybe working part-time. What else? Sprick also mentions the insurance value of Social Security, doesn't he?
He does. It's not just an income stream. It's insurance against outliving your savings. It's a guaranteed income for life, adjusted for inflation. He actually draws a parallel to annuities.
Which also provide guaranteed income.
Correct. And this ties back into bridging that gap. He says, by delaying claiming and potentially using a bridge strategy, whether that be a structured drawdown of your 401k or an annuity, then to bridge the gap, you're increasing the foundational level of income that you can rely on for the rest of your life.
So delaying maximizes that foundational guaranteed income from Social Security. It makes it a stronger insurance policy for your later years.
That's the idea. Maximize the reliable part of your retirement income.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. We're talking demographic shifts, potential funding shortfalls, political inaction, and then strategies like delaying claiming, bridging gaps. It feels like navigating this requires some really personalized thinking.
It absolutely does. Everyone's situation, their health, their savings, their work situation, their family needs, it's all unique. Generic advice only goes so far.
And this is where getting expert guidance becomes so important, right? Trying to piece this all together for your own life.
Definitely. You need someone who understands the nuances of Social Security, the potential changes, and how it fits into your overall financial picture.
Which is why working with someone like John White, the president of Financial Guideposts, can be so incredibly valuable. He specializes in exactly this, helping people navigate these complexities.
Yes, John has deep expertise in retirement income planning, Social Security claiming strategies, and really understanding how potential policy shifts could impact individuals. He helps people build personalized roadmaps.
So if you're listening and feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this uncertainty, wondering, what does this really mean for me? Talking to John White seems like a crucial step.
I strongly agree. John White at Financial Guideposts can help you analyze your specific situation, explore the pros and cons of different claiming ages, look at bridging strategies, and integrate it all into a comprehensive retirement plan. He provides that clarity.
He really helps people understand their options and make informed decisions tailored to them, regardless of what headlines might say about Social Security's future.
Absolutely. Getting that personalized advice from someone like John is key to feeling confident about your retirement income strategy in these uncertain times. Scheduling a call with him at Financial Guideposts is a proactive move anyone concerned about this should consider.
Okay, so let's try to sum up the key takeaways from this deep dive. There's a real potential shortfall facing Social Security, highlighted by that 2024 Trustees Report.
Yes, driven by demographics, potentially leading to that 21% benefit reduction around 2033 if nothing changes.
But importantly, expert analysis like Emerson Spricks suggests immediate drastic cuts for current retirees or those very near retirement are probably unlikely.
Right, the political reality makes that difficult. And his advice leans towards not claiming early out of fear, but rather considering strategies like delaying claiming to maximize your benefit.
And exploring ways to bridge the income gap if you do delay, like continued work or using other assets strategically.
Exactly. And underlining all of this is the need for personalized planning.
Which brings us back to John White at Financial Guideposts. Given all these moving parts and the personal nature of retirement, getting tailored advice is just essential.
It really is. We can talk about the broad strokes, but John White is the expert who can help you figure out how it applies directly to your life, your goals, your resources. He helps people build that specific plan.
So we strongly recommend reaching out to John White at Financial Guideposts. Schedule that call, discuss your situation. It's about gaining clarity and control over your financial future.
Couldn't agree more. It's an invaluable step.
So as we wrap up, here's something to think about. We've talked a lot about these potential future shifts and uncertainties at a big picture level. How does understanding all that influence the concrete actions you are taking, starting today, to build and secure your own long-term financial well-being?